students. My name is Arijit Das, and today I will be providing you lecture on loops. So, the first question arises when we discuss about loop is what are loops? So, a loop executes the sequence of statements many times until the stated condition becomes false. A loop consists of two parts, a body of a loop and a control statement. The control statement is a combination of some conditions that direct the body of the loop to execute until the specified condition becomes false. The purpose of the loop is to repeat the same code a number of times. So, in any programming language, we will be given only two types of loop, and also there are only two types of loop. So, depending upon the position of control statement in program, looping in C is classified into two types. First, entry control loop, two, exit control loop. Now, in entry control loop, a condition is checked before executing the body of a loop. It is also called pre-checking loop. So here, the condition for the continuation statement is checked beforehand, before executing the body of the loop. This case is usually found in for loop and while loop, where the statement for continuing the loop is present at the beginning. In an exit control loop, a condition is checked after executing the body of a loop. It is also called post-checking loop. For example, only do while loop falls under this category. So, in do while loop, we will get that the condition for the continuation statement is present at the end of the loop body. So, it is known as the exit control loop. And so, the condition which satisfy the entry control loop are for loop and while loop, and the condition for which satisfy the exit control loop is do while loop. Now, the control condition must be well defined. So, in any loop, the control condition, the condition for the continuation statement for the loop should be well defined. If it is not well defined, two things may occur. First, the loop will not work at all. It will terminate because the logic is not correct. An error will be present. Otherwise, the loop will go to an infinite loop or an endless loop where the looping will remain indefinitely. As a result, the high memory usage will be done and the computer will start hanging, or else you can say it will perform slowly. The loop that does not execute the processes, the statements number does not stop executing and processes executing and processes the number of times is called as an infinite loop. An infinite loop also called as an endless loop. Excuse me. Following are some characteristics of an infinite loop. First, no termination condition is specified. So there will be no termination condition. And second, the specified condition never met. So the specified condition doesn't meet at all. For example, this will be a statement for an infinite loop. I will be taking, wait a minute, I will be taking this part, wait a minute, not this, not this. Uh, I will taking yes this one. I will copying it. This will be an example for you guys. Or Control A, Control C, Control V. I am showing you the infinite loop in do while loop. So, so here int equals to 1. We will remove this, the terminate the continuation statement, and and print it in the next line, and x remove excess space, and this will be the statement. First of all, we will save it. Remember, saving is most important. Then compile. It will compile successfully. No errors, no warnings. And when I will run it, see, it will giving an displaying the stars indefinitely. See, if I scroll it up, you will scroll down because the printing isn't stopping. You have to terminate this. If if I let this code snippet to run for more than a minute, then my computer will start hanging or perform slowly because memory creation is taking place for displaying that this particular star. As a result, my my RAM installed in my system will be used to its fullest extent. So continuing with the loop. Now the specific condition determine the execute the loop body or not. Whether execute the loop body. If the specified condition never met, then it may terminate or stuck in an infinite loop. The C programming language provides us three types of loop construct: the while loop, the do while loop, and for loop. So a while loop is the most straightforward looping structure. The syntax of while loop in C programming is as let you check this out. Let us save it once. Creating a new source code. So the while loop will be while. Here we will be writing the sorry underscore writing the condition statements. Then there will be the braces. Braces. This is our. This will be the body of the loop. So start body of the loop and body of the loop with an implementation of counter variable. Okay. It is a simple entry control loop in which the condition is evaluated before the processing the body of the loop. See the condition when the control flows to this loop, the condition is checked at first. What I have written the condition statements. It is checked first. Check first. If the condition is true, then only then the body of a loop is executed. If this conditions is met, or else we can say if this The value of this condition result to true, then only the loop will start to execute. Otherwise not. After the body of a loop is executed, then the control goes back again at the beginning and the condition is checked if it's true and the same process is executed until the condition becomes false. So when the control reaches this point, it will go again to the while loop at the beginning of the while loop and checks the condition statement. And if it again remains true or it results to 1, then it will display, it will perform all the statements in the body of the loop or of the loop until this condition statement becomes false or 0. In while loop, if the condition is not true, then the body of the loop will not be executed and not even once. It is different in dual loop, which we will see shortly. So, if the condition statement is not met at the first time, then it will go out of the loop. It will not get into the loop. But in dual loop, the things are different because in dual loop, the condition for the continuation statement is at the end of the loop. Let me give you an example. X, it will be the syntax will be like this, and there will be a do. So here, this is an like classical example of exit control loop or dual loop. Here, the control will perform the body of the loop at first. Then it will check that it is the condition statements are satisfied. If it is not, then it will not go back to the loop again. And if it is yes, then it will go back. So the problem in here is it will execute one time at for first time it will execute, but for while loop or for loop, it will not execute for first time if the conditions are not met. Here, if the condition doesn't met, also the loop will take place. All the statements inside the body of the loop will be executed. So the loop will execute for first time. It will always execute for first time. And the last one, the for loop. For loop. For loop is most easiest and the well known. Control C. Control V. Control X. Uh, Here the things are like this. Let me make it. Initialize counter variable. So in in for loop, you can see that first I give some uh, plenty of space here, 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 and here, and I remove this one. So here you can see, in for loop there is first counter variable, which is initializing the counter variable. That means the we have taken a variable which will take control the flow of the statements inside the body of the loop. Next, we have taken condition statement. In condition statement, it is checked that the counter variable is satisfying the basic needs of the condition statement. If the condition statement are satisfied, then only the body of the loop will execute. Otherwise, it will not execute. After that, there is incrementation of counter variable. Sorry, incrementation of counter variable. It will be just like it will be I plus plus or I minus minus or plus or plus plus or minus minus. Anything, anything it can be. So in this case, what is happened? At first, this initial statement is checked, then the control flows to condition statement. If the condition statement is very successful, successful, then the control flows to the body of the loop. After executing the body of the loop, the control flows back to the implementation. After successful implementation, then in next loop sequence, the control will go to condition statement only. Now, if the condition statement is not satisfied this time, then the control will get out of the loop. And if the condition statement is satisfied, condition statement is satisfied, then the process will go on like this. This, 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 and this. It will go on like this. This is the basic for loop, and for loop is the easiest one because the initialization, condition statements, and the implementation of counter variable take place at one single line, and it becomes very clear to the programmer what is happening at what time. So moving to our and and I want to say that this the condition statement will result only to one or zero, zero only, and it will go to the body of loop for one only, and for zero it will terminate. We will going through our practice exercise. So to learn the loop function, loop blocks clearly. So our first loop block is first loop block is practice question where we have given uh, calculate the average of numbers entered by the user using a loop. For example, ask user to enter positive number one by one in a loop and negative number to terminate the loop. When the loop terminates, calculate the average and print the result. So here we have been given two conditions. So first condition is positive number in a loop. All positive numbers average will be taken place, and this is the first condition. And the second condition is negative number loop leads to termination of the loop. This is our second condition. So we will design this program sequence. Suppose if I take four numbers whose uh, whose whose mm, let me erase this. Mm, mm, let just wait a while. Hmm. So let if we take four numbers whose average will be calculated, then it is check whether the entered number is greater greater than zero or not. Okay. Now let's check if any if any negative number is entered, then then loop is terminated will terminate and an average will be displayed. This is our main case. So here we go to the C programming. C programming and go to the average function. In this we have, let me show you one thing. We have so in this programming We have taken a void main method. We have entered this, taken this header file. Just wait a minute. Uh, We have taken this one. We have taken the header file here, and then we have taken a method void main, which will not display anything. We have taken a counter variable and a desired variable n, which will take the desired variable to be entered, and counter will be the our count variable to check the condition for the continuation statement. So we will be the entering the numbers in the x value, float value. The average will be calculated in the average variable, and the sum will be calculated in the sum variable. Now the now now we will displaying a message that the value enter the value of the desired number of positive numbers to be entered. Done. Taking the desired value, done. Then we have taken a while statement to check the counter is less than equals to the desired number. Now we have taken the number and then checking it. It is greater than equals to 0. If the number is greater than equals to 0, then the sum will take place and the counter will be incremented by 1. If the number is negative enter, the the counter will decremented by 1, and the average will be displayed by this, and the break will occur. Now in latter statements, if no negative number is entered, we will checking the count is greater than equals to n. If it is greater than equals to n, then we will check print the average by sum by n. This condition will be only executed if no negative value negative value is entered. No negative value is entered. Okay. No negative value is entered. So now erasing what we have done to our this document. So after erasing it, now we will uh, uh, yes, no. First of all, no. Oh, what? Oh, sorry, there has been a problem. This average. This is our average one. So now we will be compiling it. It will compile successfully. Now we will execute, run it. Now, suppose we have taken 4 integers. Let us 1, 3, 6, and 10. The all then the average will be display 5, as you see. Now, run it. We will run it again, taking four values, but we will take 1, 2, 6, and minus 10. Then the positive numbers entered are only 3, but there is one negative number, so the value of n will be not used for the calculating average. The value of counter 1 minus value of counter will be taken to calculate the average. The average will, sorry, hanged again. We will take a phone number 1, 2, 6, and minus 4. So the negative n number entered minus 4. As a result, the average is 3. 1, 2, 6, because sum is 9, and the number of positive numbers entered is 3. So 9 by 3 equals to 3.00, because we have taken a floating variable to store the value of average. Let's move to the next practice question. Here, we have given to print the following print the pattern, and the pattern is this. The pattern in a row of 10 star in one row using do while loop. So, let's go to the program. We will open the file where there is star looping. Oh no, this is not star looping. Oh, no. So we have written, this is our star loop program. So star loop program, we will doing it with while loop, do while loop, x, do, and we will entering do, and we will putting control S to save it, F9 to compile it. So in this problem, you can see we have taken the do while statement here, and the condition of the contribution statement is at the end of the body of the loop. We have taken a counter variable n, which will be implemented after displaying this. So first it will display this, and second it will be this, and you can see a small space is also given so that we will get the desired output, sorry, desired uh, desired output like this. Now we will now run it, and we will see there is three things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 star in a row with a space in between. Now let's move ahead to our third question. Our third question is a simple example of nested loop, nested for loop, where we have to display this pattern. So here we will record nested loop. We will record uh, nested loop. Nested loop is like a where where there there will be two loops. Outer loop and and inner inner loop. The outer loop controls number of rows to be displayed. Inner loop inner loop controls number of columns columns to be displayed. So, in simple way, I'm telling, I'm telling this our outer loop. Sorry, color. Our outer loop will take control of these lines this way. This, this, and this. And inner loop will take control of this. Wait a minute. This, 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 and this. Now let's move to the program where we will be have created all the program, but some problem has. So we have taken the basic nested loop. This is our outer loop. This is our inner loop. The inner loop will be displaying the star in a row. Or in a row, and the outer loop will take of the row. This is the column one. This is column one, and this will be the row one. Uh, column, columns, columns, rows. Since there are three rows here, one, two, and three, the row will be three, and column is one, two, three, four. So the row, the column is four. Now we will be compiling it and then run it. So we will get something which is quite similar to what is given by our practice exercise. Three rows, zeros, four columns, all with star. Let's move ahead to our fourth question, which says to write a C program to compute the result of the following series. So we have to find the result of this series, or we can also say summation summations of multiples of 3. Okay, so the let's go ahead to our program. Here summation multiple program. Here we have taken a while loop which will move from 1 to 0, and there this is the condition for the continuation statement, and the incrementation statement is there, and the numbers which are only divisible by 3 will be added up, and the value of the summation will be stored in sum 3. So let us execute it, compile it, then run it. We'll display this. Now let us do it in a do while loop. Control X. Since no question does not specify us any specific loop to perform this statement, we can do it in different ways. So let us save it once, then compile it. So there is a problem. Oh, then I forgot. So this is very important. Most of the students forgot to place a semicolon after while statement in do while loop block. This is very essential. Your marks will be deducted if you don't hit this semicolon. Compile, then run. We'll get the same thing. And if we do it in a for loop statement, so writing for, in for we don't need to initialize the counter variable at first. It will initialize at the very beginning of the for loop block. I less than 100 and I plus plus. So there is no need of this and this and this. We will. I don't like extra margins. So first we will set by Control S. Then I will compile it by F9. Then run it. It will display the same thing. So we have learned the summation of series in 3 different loops: do while loop, while loop, and for loop. Our fifth question is to design a program to compute in Factorial. So what is Factorial? Factorial of any desired number is the multiplication of all the numbers from 1 till that number. If we want to find the factorial of 10, then we will multiply all the numbers from 1 till 10, including 10, till 10, or else we can say including 10. That means 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6 into 7 into 8 into 9 into 10, and the result will be shown. And there are two catch in this statement. First, so we should remember that factorial of 0 factorial, let us write it. Uh, 0 factorial, sorry, 0 factorial equals to 1 factorial of negative numbers does doesn't exist. This is because this is very simple. because if you take in the negative number, then it will go to the take the multiplication from minus infinity to that number, which is quite impossible, quite irrelevant, and it will give you may give you two types of result, maybe positive or negative, and a very huge result. So this is the thing. So we clear. Let's go to the program. Let's go to the program. Factorial. So here we have designed counter variable as I, and the desired number is stored in n. We have taken a unsigned long fact to store the factorial, because if the n is more than more than 100 or more than 50, I guess the value will be very high. So that value will be stored in unsigned long. Then it is checked if the number is negative or not. If the number is negative, then it will display this and get out of the loop. If this get not negative, then it will display the factorial, and if it is 0, then it will display 1. So let's run it. Let's compile it, run it. Oh, let's compile it. But before that, we will clear all my drawings and run it. If I enter 0, factorial is 1. You can see the factorial is 1. I do it in a message only. Now, uh, if I put a negative number as minus 10, it will give error. The factorial of the negative number doesn't exist because minus 10 is a negative number. And last one, if I put 5, it will this give the factorial of 5 into 120, which is 120. That factorial 120. So moving to our last question of our practice exercise is to calculate the sum of digits of a number entered by the user. So here there is a program of number extraction, digit extraction from a number. This type of program, but the logic behind this program can be implemented for checking palindrome, Krishnamurti, amorphic number, and different sorts of number in which digit extraction take place. So let us go to the program, open the file. Sorry, this is not the file. Let us open the file. Oh no, these are not control.w. Addition. Sorry, addition. This was the number. So since we have not mentioned any desired loop is will be taking place, so we will take the do while loop concept to do so. Do while loop concept to do so. Now we have taken the original number value in n, created it, copy and stored in t, taken the sum and the remainder, which will store the last digit of any number. Even if suppose the number entered is 1, 2, 3, 4, then the first number will be 4, first number, second number, third number. In the digit instruction will be go in this direction. If this is a desired number, so we take the number in this, give a message, take the number, copy that value, then extract all the digit using modulo operator last digit by modulo dividing it by 10. The remainder always will be the last digit. The last digit is sum of the sum, and the value of t will be decremented. Here we can also use n to be decremented, but we don't want the value to be destroyed, original value. So we working it through tree or the copy of n, and this when the value of t is the loop will value of t is 0, the loop stop executing. Until then the loop continue to execute. This means all the digit will be sum up. So now let us compile the program, run it, but first clear the drive. We have taken 5, 6, 7, 10. So it will result 19. So how? 5 plus 6, 11, 11, 11 plus 7, 18, 1, 19, and 0 is 19 plus 6 is 19. So it is a 19. Now we will do it using a while loop statement. In while loop statement, we will deleting this statement here. X. We will displaying this here, and everything is set up. Save it, compile it, and then run it using 4, 3, 2, 1, which is 10. It's working fine. So in for statement, we can do this. Let us get into for. First of all, you can miss out the here we will miss out the initialization and implementation statement. If only condition for the continuation statement is there, then it will display no error. It said displayed no error, and if we run it using 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, wait a minute, we have done something wrong. 5, 6, 7, 8, it will display the digit number. 5 plus 6, 11, 11 plus 7, 18, 18 plus 8, 26. Condition for the continuation statement is necessary. Factorial part. In factorial part, you can do the same with do while loop and the while loop. Multiple part will be the same, but in the nested loop, it is preferred to use for loop because in do while or while it becomes something clumsy, it, and it doesn't remain clear to all. So I hope you can understand all the practice exercise well. Thank you.